Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Good to see you. Today is day 8, school at home. We're going to have some stories, a little art, and a little math. So I'm going to wait just a minute for people to join us. I have some great books to share with you today. And I have a fun project. For our project today, you just need a piece of paper and something to color with. Hi, Samantha. Piece of paper and something to color with. I have these papers with faces already drawn on them, but if you just have either you or your adult at home, just draw a big head, some eyes, a nose, a mouth, and some hair just like mine. We'll be using those to go with one of our stories today. So I'm going to put that right here. So again, you need paper with a face on it, and you need something to color with, and then we're going to get started. So the first book we're going to read today is called Scavenger Scout, Rock Hound. This is written by Shelby Wild, and she actually won an award for the cover. I do love the cover of this book. Hi, Max. Hi, Samantha. How are you doing, Max? I miss seeing you at school. Hope you guys are doing okay at your house. This is one of my kids' favorite books because my kids love rocks. They love looking for rocks outside. They love collecting rocks. Cammie even got a rock polisher for Christmas or her birthday or something a couple years ago. So, hi, Anna. Good to see you on here. So anyway, Scavenger Scout, Rock Hound. Here we go. This book is super fun because you get to look for rocks in this book. Do you search for minerals everywhere? Do you own more rocks than underwear? Do you love rocks no matter what your age? Look which book I'm reading, Wyatt. Wyatt loves this book. We read it a lot, right, Wyatt? Well, follow Scout. Find the rock on every page. We're going to let the people at home look for the rocks before you point them out, okay? It all started with one rock, one orange sparkly rock that I dug up in my backyard. I was hooked. You can call me Scout. I'm a rock hound, mineral master, pebble pursuer. Each rock tells a story, and I love to show and tell. Where did I get all these rocks? Well, I'll tell you. I hunted down each one.
It says look for me.
It does say look for me. So
you're
going to
have to find that one on the next page.
Yep, we're going to find this one on the next page. Is called azurite or azurite. I don't really know how to pronounce it for sure, but you think so? Okay, see if you can find it.
I see it.
Okay, don't tell anybody now. One day while on a walkabout, I crawled into a dragon's den. As I scanned the space, I saw it. A spiky blue azurite. It was the bluest blue I had ever seen. Wyatt wants to know why she didn't take the gold. I think she just likes rocks, Wyatt. Right?
She could have been rich.
Can you find the azurite, Wyatt? You can go ahead and point it out. Where is it? There it is. And look, here she is. She's coming in to find rocks. Stumbling over jeweled goblets, I crept closer. I froze at a slithering sound. A watchful dragon was leaving his gilded perch. Uh-oh. The scaly sir was suddenly next to me. Stay away from my gold. You can keep your precious metals. I'm here for the azurite. A simple stone. It's yours if you can pluck it from the pile. Where is it, Wyatt? Yeah, and where is it on the next page? Okay, do you think she's going to get it? Let's see. The azurite was the size of my baby brother, and probably just as much trouble. Fearing the dragon would change his mind, I quickly pulled out my crack hammer and hand chisel. I fashioned a pulley with a counterweight and carefully lowered the stone into my pack. So she's using her tools here, her crack hammer and her hand chisel, and then she made a pulley so that she could get it out because it's super heavy, right, Wyatt? It's a big rock. From a deep, dark cave to the ocean floor, what do we have to find now?
Look for me. You have to find that thingy.
You remember what it's called? Fluorite.
Fluorite.
Is fluorite the one that glows in the dark?
I think.
I think it does. Under the sea, I secretly swam with mermaids and fishy friends. Hovering just above the ocean floor, my skin glowed green and purple, the colors of fluorite. The giant crystal. Where is the fluorite? See if you can. No, don't point it out yet, Wyatt. You see if you can find it, and then we'll have Wyatt show us where he thinks it is. Where is that fluorite?
It's right.
Okay, Wyatt, show us where it is.
Right there.
Oh, it's under that shell. The giant crystal was stuck under an open clamshell, studded with a pearl. I eagerly pulled out my pry bar.
It's a pry bar.
Pry bar is, let's see if I can find a picture of it. Remember she has those tools listed in the back of the book? Oh, she doesn't have it back here. It's kind of like this. It's flat and you like can pry stuff out with it.
Oh.
Maybe it'll show on the next page. Yeah, here it is. Here's her pry bar right here. The mermaids cried, "Those pearls belong to the sea. Please don't take them." Well, those pearls are swell, but I'm after my favorite, fluorite. The mermaids weren't convinced that their precious pearls were safe, so I knew what I had to do, a rock swap. I grabbed a piece of coral and used my pry bar to swap it for the fluorite. Oh, here's the fluorite right here. I hitched the fluorite to an empty ballast tank and raised the rock to the surface. From the secret sea to the farthest reaches of space, now what is she looking for?
Look for me.
Alexandrite. She's going out into space.
Yeah, I know.
I was moonbound on a mineral mission when I spied a stone that looked like Alexandrite, shining green one minute and flickering red the next. One of the many that formed Saturn's rings, it floated with its friends. So tempting.
There's a ton. Look.
Yeah, do you see that Alexandrite? I didn't know that Alexandrite made up Saturn's rings. Did you know that? An alien watched me make a loop as I put together a plan. His voice sounded next to me, though he was still in his ship. I have read your thoughts and must disagree. Saturn does not belong to you, but to the galaxy. His ship blocked mine. I don't want Saturn, just one rock from her rings. I'm a rock collector too, he sighed. You may take the Alexandrite on loan. That means she can borrow it. I mashed the autopilot button and grabbed the cargo net from the back. It took 3 tries, but I snagged that stone. From silent space to a collector's canyon. Ooh, look what she's looking for now.
She's looking for look for me.
She's got 3 to find here. Amethyst,
and
aquamarine,
aquamarine,
and quartz.
Can I point at all of them right when you turn the page?
Yes, you can.
Right when you turn the page?
Yes. Hi, Misty. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments and saying good morning. Wyatt, dude. Thank you, Courtney. Hi, Tina. Wyatt, I think Shu Lauscher is watching. Can you say hi to Shu Lauscher? Okay, Wyatt. Gosh, that's freaky. Heading west, I clutched a map that showed the way to a cluster of crystals. The sun was hot, and X marked the spot where the clay and river flowed. The light of a canyon wall in the distance. I leaned forward in the saddle, straining to see. Do you see? Wait. People at home, look on this page and see if you see any crystals.
Right there.
Oh, there's one on this page too?
Right here.
Oh, there it is.
Right here.
Okay. What greeted me around the bend was a dazzling sight, a wall of crystal prisms reflecting lots of light. I picked up my pickaxe, but how was I going to get all the crystals home? Hey, you rockhound, which crystal is your favorite, and how will you get it home?
I would just chuck the whole mountain about it and get a plane.
Okay. And then in the back of the book, she teaches about the rocks. Azurite is blue to dark blue. Where you can find it: Australia, the Congo, Morocco, Namibia, United States, Arizona,
And
New
it
Mexico.
said United States.
Yeah, I know. Fluorite, It can be any color of the rainbow, though it's best known for this color. This is found in China, Canada, Mexico, England, France, Germany, Morocco, Burma, Namibia, Russia, Spain, Switzerland, the US, Arizona again.
And space.
Oh, this says
No.
fluorite glows when it is exposed to UV light. That means when you expose it to light, it'll start glowing. Alexandrite. Ooh, that's really hard rock, 8.5. Brazil, India, Madagascar, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, so mainly Africa and South America. It can change colors. Interesting. And then these are some tools. No, we're in North America. Crack hammer, chisel, pointed tip rock hammer.
Wait, isn't this supposed to be in Saturn's rings?
Well, I don't really know. Okay. So again, this book is called Scavenger Scout Rock Hound by Shelby Wild. Okay, now
we're going to read 15 of the books.
Now we're going to read another book. And Wyatt, we're going to do a little activity with this one. So here's your paper.
Is it coloring?
Not really. I mean, kind of, but you don't. It's just different. Grab that whiteboard so you can put it on top of there. And grab your paper at home. You don't have a paper that looks like this probably, but just draw a quick face on a piece of paper. And while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you that I am giving away some books today on my Instagram page. So if you're on Instagram, go ahead and find Stacy C Bauer on Instagram. And I am doing a unicorn book giveaway. So I read this book a couple days ago. I'm giving this book away.
Have a piece of thing.
Oh, you need some colors? Don't color anything yet.
Wait for that. Let's just color the eyes.
No, you have to wait.
Can I color around
And then
Can I color around it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm giving away this one. Never Let a Unicorn Scribble. Unicorn Jazz.
Give away those two.
And Ariel the Unicorn. Not our copies. We're going to keep our copies.
No, I don't want to give away those.
We're keeping these. We're keeping these. I'm giving them new copies. Okay? Okay, so today, the next book I'm going to read is called A Bad Case of Stripes by David Shannon. So as I'm reading this book, kids at home, I want you to visualize what she looks like in your brain. And as I'm reading, I want you to color what you think she looks like. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the pictures after I read it. Okay, here we go. So here's what she looks like on the cover of the book. Don't make her look like this yet, though, okay? You have to kind of, well, I want you to listen and visualize in your brain what you think she looks like and then color it. Camilla Cream loved lima beans, but she never ate them. All of her friends hated lima beans and she wanted to fit in. Camilla was always worried about what other people thought of her. Today she was fretting even more than usual. It was the first day of school and she couldn't decide what to wear. There were so many people to impress. She tried on 42 outfits, but none seemed quite right. She put on a pretty red dress and looked in the mirror. Then she screamed. Wyatt. She screamed. Her mother ran into the room and she screamed too. Oh my heavens, she cried. You are completely covered with stripes. That was certainly true. Camilla was striped from head to toe. She looked like a rainbow. Can you picture that in your brain, Wyatt? She looked like a rainbow. So that's this picture. Mrs. Cream felt Camilla's forehead. Do you feel all right? She asked. I feel fine, Camilla answered, but just look at me. You get back in bed this instant, her mother ordered. You're not going to school today. Camilla was relieved. She didn't want to miss the first day of school, but she was afraid of what the other kids would say, and she had no idea what to wear with those crazy stripes. Should we see what happens next, Wyatt?
Did the mom say she's home?
No, she can stay home. That afternoon, Dr. Bumble came in to examine Camilla. Most extraordinary, he exclaimed. I've never seen anything like it. Are you having any coughing, sneezing, runny nose, aches, pains, chills, hot flashes, dizziness, drowsiness, shortness of breath, or uncontrollable twitching? No, Camilla told him, I feel fine. Well then, Dr. Bumble said, turning to Mrs. Cream, I don't see any reason why she shouldn't go to school tomorrow. Here's some ointment that should help clear up those stripes in a few days. If it doesn't, you know where to reach me. And off he went.
I don't want to do the bunch.
All right.
Let's just color it.
No, listen. The next day was a disaster. Everyone at school laughed at Camilla. They called her Camilla Cran and Night of the Living Lollipop. She tried her best to act as if everything was normal, but when the class said the Pledge of Allegiance, her stripe turned red, white, and blue, and she broke out into stars. Oh my goodness, red, white, and blue, and she broke out into stars. So I'm visualizing that in my head. So if you want to color that, Camilla, you can do that one on your paper. If you don't, you can wait to see what happens next. So her stripes turned red, white, and blue. And she broke out into stars. Maybe she looks something like that. No. Should we see? Oh, look at her face and her whole body.
That actually looks kind of good.
The other kids thought this was great. One yelled out, "Let's see some purple polka dots." Sure enough, Camilla turned all purple polka dotty. So now she has purple polka dots. Someone else shouted, "Checkerboard!" and a pattern of squares covered her skin. You can do a checkerboard on here, Wyatt, or chessboard. Soon everyone was calling out different shapes and colors, and poor Camilla was changing faster than you can change the channels on a TV. Look at Wyatt. Here's her checkerboard. Here's her polka dots. And here's her flag. Poor Camilla. That night, Mr. Harms, the school principal, called. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Cream," he said. "I'm going to have to ask you to keep Camilla home from school. She's just too much of a distraction. I've been getting calls from other parents. They're afraid those stripes may be contagious." Camilla was so embarrassed. She couldn't believe that 2 days ago everyone liked her. Now nobody wanted to be in the same room with her. Her father tried to make her feel better. "Is there anything I can get you, sweetheart?" he asked. "No, thank you," sighed Camilla. What she really wanted was a nice plate of lima beans, but she'd been laughed at enough for one day. So she just wants to eat some lima beans. Do you think she should just eat them, Wyatt? And not care what other people think? You should just eat what you like, right? Yeah. But she's afraid people are going to laugh at her because she likes lima beans. Well, yes, I see, Dr. Bumble mumbled when Mr. Cream phoned the next day. "I think I better bring in the specialist. We'll be right over." About an hour later, Dr. Bumble arrived with 4 people in long white coats. He introduced them to the Creams. "This is Dr. Grop, Dr. Sponge, Dr. Cricket, and Dr. Young." Then the specialist went to work on Camilla. Oh my goodness, look at her. Look at her, Wyatt. Oh. They squeezed and jabbed, tapped, and tested. It was very uncomfortable. "Well, it's not the mumps," concluded Dr. Grop. "Or the measles," said Dr. Sponge. "Definitely not chicken pox," put in Dr. Cricket. "Or sunburn," said Dr. Young. "Try these," said the specialist, and they handed her a bottle filled with different colored pills. "Take one of each before bed," said Dr. Grop. Then they filed out the front door, followed by Dr. Bumble. Look what he's doing. Oh my gosh. You won't believe what she looks like now. Picture this in your brain. See if you can picture it. That night, Camilla took her medicine. It was awful. When she woke up the next morning, she did feel different, but when she got dressed, her clothes didn't fit right. She looked in the mirror, and there, staring back at her, was a giant, multicolored pill with her face on it.
I want to see it.
Dr. Bumble rushed over as soon as Mrs. Cream called, but this time, instead of the specialist, he brought the experts. Dr. Gordon and Mr. Mellon were the finest scientific minds in the land. Once again, Camilla was poked and prodded, looked at and listened to. The experts wrote down lots of numbers. Then they huddled together and whispered. Dr. Gord finally spoke. "It might be a virus," he announced with authority. Suddenly, fuzzy little virus eyeballs appeared all over Camilla. "Or possibly some form of bacteria," said Mr. Mellon. Out pop squiggly little bacteria tails. Or it could be a fungus, added Dr. Gord. Instantly, Camilla was covered with different colored fungus blotches. The experts looked at Camilla, then at each other. We need to go over these numbers again back at the lab, Dr. Gord explained. We'll call you when we know something. But the experts didn't have a clue, much less a cure. By now, the TV news had found out about Camilla. Reporters from every channel were outside her house telling the story of the bizarre case of the incredible changing kid. Soon, a huge crowd was camped out on the front lawn. Oh, my word. Oh, Wyatt, look at her now. The creams were swamped with all kinds of remedies from psychologists, allergists, herbalists, nutritionists, psychics, an old medicine man, a guru, and even a veterinarian. Each so-called cure only added to poor Camilla's strange appearance until it was hard to even recognize her. She sprouted roots and berries and crystals and feathers and a long furry tail. But nothing worked. That's her, Wyatt. You don't have to. Mm-hmm. One day, a woman who called herself an environmental therapist claimed she could cure Camilla. Close your eyes, she said. Breathe deeply and become one with your room. I wish you hadn't said that, Camilla groaned. Wyatt, where's she on this page?
She's right there.
Is that her mouth?
Yeah.
Where's her eyes?
Right there.
I think these are her eyes. I think this is her nose. Look, is that her bow?
Oh.
Did she turn into her bedroom?
Yeah.
Slowly, she started to melt into the walls of her room. Her bed became her mouth. Her nose was a dresser. 2 paintings were her eyes. The therapist screamed and ran from the house. What are we going to do? Cried Mrs. Cream. It just keeps getting worse and worse. She began to sob. At that moment, Mr. Cream heard a quiet little knock at the front door. He opened it, and there stood an old woman who was just as plump and sweet as a strawberry. Excuse me, she said brightly, but I think I can help. What is she going to do, I wonder? How's she going to help? She went into Camilla's room and looked around. My goodness, she said. What we have here is a bad case of the stripes, one of the worst I've ever seen. She pulled out a container of small green beans from her bag. Here, she said, these might do the trick. Are those magic beans? Asked Mrs. Cream. Oh, my, no, replied the kind old woman. There's no such thing. These are just plain old lima beans. I'll bet you like some. Wouldn't you? She asked Camilla. Wyatt, look, what is she putting in Camilla's mouth?
Lima beans.
Camilla wanted a big heaping plate full of lima beans more than just about anything, but she was still afraid to admit it. Yuck, she said. No one likes lima beans, especially me. Oh dear, said the old woman sadly. I guess I was wrong about you. She put the beans back in her bag and started toward the door. Camilla watched the old woman walk away. Those beans would taste so good, and being laughed at for eating them was nothing compared to what she'd been going through. She finally couldn't stand it. Wait, she cried. The truth is, I really love lima beans. I thought so, the old woman said with a smile. She took a handful of beans and popped them into Camilla's mouth. Mmm, said Camilla. Suddenly, the branches, feathers, and squiggly tails began to disappear. Then the whole room swirled around. When it stopped, there stood Camilla and everything was back to normal. I'm cured, she shouted. Yes, said the old woman. I knew the real you was in there somewhere. She patted Camilla on the head. Then she went outside and vanished into the crowd. Oh. Afterward, Camilla wasn't quite the same. Some of the kids at school said she was weird, and she didn't care a bit. She ate all the lima beans she wanted, and she never even had a touch of the stripes again. Wyatt, what do you think the point of this book is? What's it mostly about?
About what that you don't, that it matters what God cares of you, not other people.
Oh, so you shouldn't worry what other people think of you, and you should just be yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to read it 2 of the books that I'm giving away on my Instagram page. So again, if you're on Instagram, go to Stacy C Bauer. All you have to do to enter is follow me and the other authors and like the post and tag a friend. That's all you have to do to enter. The giveaway ends tomorrow, so don't miss out. You can get these brand new books for your kids. Okay, so this one's called Ariel the Unicorn. It's written by Mary Nin. This book reminds me of the Olivia series. If your kids like Olivia, they'll probably like this series. Okay, here we go. Meet Ariel. Ariel loves to do a lot of things.
Like what?
Let's find out. She may struggle sometimes, but one thing holds steady and true. Ariel never gives up. Look, Wyatt, she's playing soccer. Wyatt loves soccer, don't you, Wyatt? She loves to play soccer. She loves to play soccer, sing, and dance. Do you like doing all those things? Ariel, okay, that's enough now, Wyatt. Thank you. People at home can't listen if you're doing that. Ariel lives with her parents, older sister, Eileen, younger brother, Alex, and her dog, Bacon. Her dog's name is Bacon. Ariel, Eileen, and Alex are best friends, but like all siblings, they have their moments. You and Kimmy never fight, do you? In the morning, Ariel goes swimming. Her mom teaches her how to dive. Ariel practices her dives over and over again. Is she diving?
No.
I think she's doing a cannonball. For lunch, Ariel loves to eat sushi. Not just any sushi, sushi made with sparkles in them. After lunch, Ariel plays cashier dressed up as an astronaut and becomes a hairdresser. Oh. What's she doing? Cutting her brother's hair. Time out. Why'd you have to have a timeout?
Because she cut it her brother.
In the evening, Ariel goes outside. Her father shows her how to make a rocket. After a few tries, she gets really good at making one.
With a unicorn on.
After movie time with the family and a warm bath, Ariel's dad tucks her in bed and reads her a story. Dad, I'm going to fly to space one day, says Ariel. Her dad kisses her goodnight. You know what, Ariel? I think you can do anything. Ariel finally drifts off to sleep. What's she dreaming about?
Did you know she's in space?
The end. Yep. And here's some pictures at the end. So this is one of the books you can win if you enter the giveaway on Instagram. Okay, I already read this book a few days ago. Here's another book by my good friend Diane, Never Let a Unicorn Scribble. Do you like this one, Wyatt? I recently got a pet unicorn. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. And everyone keeps telling me, never let a unicorn scribble. Diane does her own illustrations and words to her stories. Why would anyone say such a thing? I mean, unicorns can run on rainbows, so why can't they scribble? I thought if I gave her just one crayon, what could go wrong? Well, I'll tell you, she ate it. Now my favorite bright pink crayon was traveling to the belly of my unicorn. This is probably why people are saying unicorns should never scribble, because they eat crayons.
Then give me a colored pencil.
Then it occurred to me, maybe unicorns don't know how to use crayons. So I gathered all my crayons and started to scribble. I made a blue scribble, a pink scribble, a yellow scribble, and even a crazy scribble. Now that she could see how crayons worked, I thought I would give her another chance to scribble. I took out a teal crayon, this is the color teal, and placed it right in front of her. And she ate half of it. At least she didn't eat the whole thing. Listen to me, unicorn, we do not eat crayons, we draw with them. But then I realized a unicorn couldn't hold a crayon like I could. Maybe that was why she was eating them. I had an idea. You like this idea, don't you, Wyatt? Maybe if I tied a few crayons to her horn, that would help her scribble. Within seconds, glitter scribbles started shooting out like water from a fire hose. We like that page, don't we? Sparkling rainbow scribbles were everywhere. They were on the floor, the ceiling, the walls. They were even on my lamp. I've been begging my mom to redecorate my room for a while now, but I don't think this is what she had in mind. Then I heard a noise down the hall. This was it. I was going to be in so much trouble. I popped out of my room and blocked the door. Before my mom could say anything, I started to explain the mess she was about to see. Well, it all started when I heard to never let a unicorn scribble, but I had to find out why. So I gave my unicorn a crayon, and then she ate it. Then I tried to tell her to scribble, but then she ate another crayon. So I tied the crayons to her horn, and boy, was that horn magical. The scribbles started shooting out like a water fountain, and they were so sparkly, but it made such a mess, and I'm sorry. My mom peeked around the corner and smiled. You didn't make a mess. You made a glowing masterpiece. When I turned around, all the scribbles were right on my easel. Not on the ceiling, not on the walls, not on my lamp. They were all on one big piece of paper, and it was the most amazing art ever. Look at her stuffed unicorn. All this time, people wanted to stop unicorns from scribbling. It could be because they eat crayons or because it's so messy. But if my unicorn had never scribbled, she would never have learned how to make this masterpiece. So the next time you hear a unicorn shouldn't scribble, just remember, all great art starts with a scribble, and even unicorns have to start somewhere. Yeah, okay. What? We're going to do some math now, though, Wyatt. So you can win this book on Instagram. Go ahead and follow me at Stacy C Bauer to win all 4 of these unicorn books. And if you don't like unicorns or your child isn't really into them, I'm sure you can find somebody that would enjoy those books. Wyatt, we're going to do some math now. Come on. Wyatt disappeared right when we were going to do some math. Okay, level 1. Wyatt. Come on. Okay, what kind of math should we do today, Wyatt? Okay, let's see. I guess I will do my math and hope that he comes up here eventually. Okay, level 1. There were 5 crayons on the table. I grabbed 3 more crayons to color with. How many crayons do I have in all? So if you're still with me, go ahead and chime in if you'd like to answer the question. And a lot of you, I'm sure, can do these problems in your head. If you can't, feel free to draw pictures, use your fingers, use some different math to figure them out. Okay, so this is an addition problem because I said how many crayons do I have in all? 5 plus 3 is 8. How do I know? I can start with 5 and go 6, 7, 8. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can go 5, 6, 7, 8. There's lots of different ways to figure it out. Okay. Level 2. We're already on level 2, Wyatt. Level 2. I have 12 crayons at the table to do some art with. I found 9 more crayons. How many crayons do I have now? All right, Wyatt, what do you think the answer is?
1.
So 12 plus 9
is 1.
Let's see. How can I figure this out? Well, 9 plus 2 is 11. Plus 10 more is 21. Good job, Samantha. You got it right. Or I could do 12 plus 8. If I know 12 plus 8 is 20, then 12 plus 9 is 21. I can use my 10s and my 20 facts to help me. Okay, level 3.
With the B.
Let's see. There were 27 crayons on the table. I found 18 more. Ooh, I don't know if you can figure this one out, Wyatt. This is pretty challenging. 27 crayons on the table, and then I added 18 more crayons. How many crayons do I have in all? And again, remember, there's more than one way to solve math problems.
44.
So, you need to put it on your whiteboard and show me how you got your answer. We can do it later too.
Wait, is that right?
I don't know. Are you going to prove it? Prove it.
No.
So in my class, I tell my kids, if you get it done early, you need to divide your whiteboard in half and show me 2 different ways to solve the problem, and then see if you get the same answer both times. So let's see if we can think of 2 different ways to solve this problem. 20 plus 10 is how much, Wyatt?
34.
30. 7 plus 8 is 15. 30 plus 15 is 45. Okay, so I think the answer is 45. Now I'm going to check it by doing it a different way. You think it's 45? I'm going to do it a different way now. 27 plus 18. So I'm going to take 3 from this number and move it over here. I'm going to make that 30, and I'm going to make this 15. So I'm taking 3 from this number, moving over here to make this an easy number. 30 plus 15 I can do in my head, and it's 45. And since I got 45 2 different ways, the answer is probably 45. So this is the tens and ones strategy. This is transformation, because I changed both numbers to make it into a... Transformation means I changed, Wyatt, look up here. I changed both of these numbers to make it into an easier problem that I could do in my head.
Oh, okay.
Transform means to change. Okay, let's do another one. Why, you're going to do this later today, I take it, since you're not doing it right now?
No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it in my head.
Nope, we're not going to do this in our head. We're going to do it on our whiteboard or on our paper. Okay, how about 38 plus 76? Let's see if anybody can think of 2 ways to solve that problem.
Equal. 100 in, let's see here. 100. No one has the answer yet.
I know. They're probably working it out on their paper. So why don't you go get your whiteboard and write it down.
Wow.
38 plus 76. I'm going to do the tens and ones first. Wyatt, look. What's 30 plus 70?
No. 30 plus 70 is 100.
Right. Then I have to add the ones place. 8 plus 6.
8 plus 6 is everything. No, 8 plus 6 is 12. No, 15. No, 14. 14. So, and if I add 114.
Okay, we think that's what it is. Now let's do another way and see if we get the same answer. Wyatt, let's change this into 40 by taking 2 from this number. 40 plus 74. 40 plus 70 is 110, and 4 more makes 114. Wyatt, Sammy got 114.
Hey.
Good job, Sammy. Okay, we're going to do one more. Here's the challenge question. Ready, Wyatt?
Good job, Sammy.
Here's the challenge question. Let's see. Wyatt has $575. He did some more chores, and he earned $186 more. How much money does Wyatt have now? So I'm going to see how many ways you can solve this problem.
15 million. I don't know how many ways.
So I'm going to start with the tens in one way. 500 plus 100 is 600. I'm going to start with the hundreds place. Then I'm going to do the tens. 70 plus 80. Well, I know 7 plus 8 is 15. So 70 plus 80 is 150. And then I have 5 plus 6 equals 11. When I do this way, I always make sure I line up the numbers right so that I have all the ones lined up, all the tens, and then all the hundreds. So I have 761. Okay, that's what I got in my first way. So we're going to see if I can do it another different way here.
Mom.
575 plus 186.
Is it 76?
Well, I got 761, so I'm going to try to figure out a way to make this 600.
What is it, 700?
So I'm going to use what I know about money. I know 75 and 25 makes... Excuse me. Why don't you go downstairs?
No.
Since you're not listening.
No.
So I'm going to add 25 over here, make this 600, and since I took 25 off of this, I have 161 left. 600 plus 161 equals 761. Yay!
Yay, I'm right.
I got the same answer 2 different ways.
It's right.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, today. I will be back here tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And again, don't forget, if you have an Instagram account, go ahead and find my account on Instagram for a chance to win these books. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Sorry, Mom, I was really bad.